Hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right this way.
Hi, welcome to Mark's Basement Arcade. Today we're on the World Cup Soccer and we're going to be rebuilding one of the pop bumpers. I already took it off because I wasn't going to make a video, and then I'm like, well, I should make a video even though this is very similar to EM games. I figured, well, I'll still make a video. Anyways, it's the same thing basically. In a way, it's going to be different a little bit. We are going to clean off all this crap with naphtha, get all the gunk off of it. I want this post nice and clean. The big difference is I don't want to lose these washers. Let me just take them off right now. Take them off. I can get this ring off. I guess I will polish this ring, get it all nice and shiny before I put it together. Anyways, okay, I got that off. Everything's still attached to the top. I'm just cleaning off this post for the skirt. As you can see, that does all the wild thing down there. So that I want to leave. Now we are going to take apart the pop bumper assembly, which is pretty straightforward. These are still basically just exactly like an EM game. A couple screws on the back of it. Loosen them up. Set the screwdriver down. Take these two screws out. Take this apart. Note how it goes together. One thing I'm worried about, oh, I guess I'm not worried. Coil sleeve came right out. Let's get this a good clean. I know you can't see much because the way this cabinet is, I can't really pull out the playfield, and I'm not pulling out the playfield to do certain easy things. This isn't like an EM, so I don't need to get it all completely apart. Oh, my sleeves are falling all over. I don't need to get it completely apart in pieces to do this. Everything looks good here. The only thing I was really worried about on this game was all these coil sleeves getting stuck in the coils, because this game was en route, and by me cleaning it I could tell it was a very heavy abused game. It didn't see any love. The only love it's seeing is the love I'm giving to it right now. Okay, we got the new coil sleeve in. That's all cleaned up. Put our two screws back in here. I was just cranking the Beatles. Hold it down right here. You can see right there with your thumb, and then here to hold the assembly. This is like the coil stop slash bracket assembly that holds the coil in. We're going to hold that together real tight. Reason why we don't want this coil to be in there nice and tight, so it can do its thing and not wobble around. Next thing is switch, not an EM switch. I already went through and cleaned it, but I'm going to show you. This is a piece of cardboard off Priority mail. Perfect cardboard for this. EM I would normally use sandpaper to clean the contacts, but this, since these are all plated, I'm not doing that. Just run it through here a couple times like that. You can see it did take something off. Look at it. Oh yeah, perfectly clean. Now another thing I do is I take a little PBR grease. See if we can get that to focus. Oh, come on. Here we go. PBR grease. I use this on the spoon. Not a crazy amount. Just a little dollop of daisy on it, you know. Right on the spoon. This is what makes that action crazy stupid when you just brush the switch. And I like my action crazy stupid on these. And where are all my screws? And I'm going to show you how to set up the switch. So when it's stupid fast, it's actually centered where it should be, right in the middle of the pop bumper. That's what I hate about working on these machines. You have to watch instantly when you drop stuff. And there's so many wires and stuff under here. You can't not watch it, because you have to make sure everything you go and drop, you watch and see where it dropped. Okay, this is still loose. As you can see, it's still loose. And you can actually see right through there, you can see the green post. Now I'm going to push on this in the center to get that post to center on that. You can actually see it moving. But I want this to be right in the center of that. So I'm going to push this down and tighten these. What that does is help keep the switch centered a little bit. You still got to make some fine adjustments. I believe that's right in the center. Oh yeah, perfect. Now in a minute, this thing gets a little wild, it will hit the pop bumper. Now all we need to do is readjust that switch so it's tight, because this was misadjusted before. I can totally see it was. That's like right on the money, right smack in the middle. So now when we hit this, it will actually get those two contacts together and get them firing. Well, my problem is, since it was originally off center, Now we got too much of a gap. So we don't want to go to Gapplebee's. We're going to use a leaf switch tool. And we're going to crank that leaf down just a little bit. It's still a little too loose. It's very hard to show this on this machine. I have other EM videos where I go over this a lot more. Okay, now we have no gap. And that's what we don't want. We need a gap. Still no gap. Okay, I am looking for a gap that is, yeah, 1/8 of an inch approximately. You see, yeah, I think that is a good marker. Playfield plastic. Just about that gap. That's what I want. I want that gap. I need to find a piece that I have that's broken. I have a lot of broken pieces from this. I don't think I have any that are just broken. Here's a big piece, but I just wanna, oh man, this is horrible. I got all this broken plastic that I don't want to break up because I have new plastic. Here's the smallest piece I got. Here's a small piece. I just want to make sure that gap is about half the thickness of this plastic. Yeah, about, you don't want it bigger than this. That's as max size as you want for your gap on your switch for your pop bumpers. That's the max gap you want. You want it between, so when you just hit the ball and it goes way over and it fully compresses the switch all the way. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, I can't get in any closer. But you can see how the switch moves a little bit. I want it sensitive, but my cord's coming out. I don't want it too sensitive. Then it's just crazy. And we'll get that. That's right there, perfect. Okay, I'll bring you over so you can see. Okay, where are we? Oh, let's widen it out so we can get to that. Okay, there's a switch. Can we get you to even see that gap? can see it moving. Okay, we focus just on that. Excuse me, I got hiccups bad. This thing would autofocus on my fingers. Alright, I can't get that focus. But here on this switch here, you can see the gap. I am having a bad day with camera today. Here we go. Nothing wants to focus. There. There, can you see that gap? That's about the gap you want on a pop bumper. That's like the perfect gap there. That's what you want on that pop bumper. That gap. So you're getting a solid hit. That's the max gap you want on a pop bumper. At least that's how I set them up. I like mine touchy. I like mine real touchy. I have actually, on the switch I just showed you, the switch I showed you that's up over here, I have it right between those two. I wish I had something like a feeler gauge or something. I have some out in the garage. Okay. Why don't I stop the camera and I'll go get my feeler gauges and I'll see exactly what that is. Alright, I went through my feeler gauge and I came up with 38 40 thousandths. That's what you want to get that gapped at. Alright, and I went through and I polished the pop ring all up. So it's all nice and shiny. So that we will drop back through there. Everything's all tight, gapped properly. Well, that's my gapping. That's how I like to gap it. And then now we will slide this body back on. The whole assembly. Which isn't too hard to do if your pop bumper thing isn't slightly bent inwards on itself. Okay, now when you do this, you want to make sure you have no wires pinched anywhere. None at all. Nada. Not one. Otherwise you're going to be in deep trouble. You don't want one little hidden wire getting up underneath there and ruining your day. That ruined my day on Flight 2000. I put the, what do you call it? Drop target assembly back together, pinched one wire in it. One little wire. And now my switch matrix is all screwed up on it. I have to go through the play field and find out what diode or cap on the switch I burned out. But that game's in storage. Right now it's not in the way. Now these you don't want to crank down super crazy, because you will snap the posts right off that go through the playfield. And trust me, I know that one too. I did that on one of my games on accident. Actually, I think it was probably pretty loose and ready to snap before I even got to it. I just gave it one snug like that and just went kadunk, snapped right off. Alright, and then now we put the, we're gonna take that up there. We're gonna tighten pop bumper ring onto the pop bumper coil sprocket assembly. This is what I hate about these games. What size is this? This is a 5/16. And what do we got here? A big giant momo. This is 5/16. There we go. Same with these are nylock nuts. Don't have to crank them down. They just gotta be snug and tight. There we go. One nice fluid, really nice and smooth compared to these other ones. Oh yeah. Pop bumper assembly with a correctly adjusted leaf. See if I can get you over here so you can see this madness. Let me get this back out. There we go. You can see the switch. Let me get the pointer. There's one of the bolts and another bolt. Those hold the ring for the pop bumper down, and then there's a bolt here, one underneath, and one right over there that you can kind of see. Right, yeah, you can see it just about right there. And there's three of those that hold these down. Actually, here's a better one. There's one here, and one here that hold it to the table, and then here's a bolt, and there's a bolt. Let's see if this switch is out of whack. No, this one looks pretty good. I don't know if you can see that gap or not. See that gap? That's perfect gap, if you can see it. That gap right there on the switch, that's perfect. That's almost perfect. I just like it just a little bit tighter. A little more sensitive than that. Actually, yeah, just a little more sensitive than that. That's what I like. Anyways, thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up, like and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook at Mark's Basement Arcade. And give us a thumbs up. And thanks for following us. Anyways, that's about it for the pop bumper on a Bally World Cup Soccer anyways, that's about it. Thanks. Later.